Greetings, all you mimics out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you with another issue review of IDW Sonic the Hedgehog, the Tangle and Whisper miniseries. Now, this is issue 2 titled Ambush, which, yeah, if you read last issue, you know exactly what's going on, because so do our characters, as Tangle ended up getting caught in the crossfire and the almost eternal feud going on between her friend Whisper and Whisper's mortal enemy, Mimic. A very vile mercenary who sold out his entire crew to the Eggman Empire, who is on the hunt for Whisper, the only possible person who might very well be able to take him down. And Tangle wants to do her best in order to help out her brand new friend, because all this time she's just wanted to continue that grand adventure that she went on. But has Tangle got in over her head in this feud between two very skilled mercenaries? Let's get in. Now, while Tangle at first is kind of having a bit of a laugh, a bit of a lark, this is a fun adventure for her. She's still hyped up with all this previous stuff she did with Sonic and his friends. Whisper is definitely taking this very seriously, and at every turn, she's really trying to get Tangle to understand that this is a serious situation. And it's very apparent they're walking into a trap. Not enough exits, not enough, visual cover and all that. It's so obviously a trap. But Tangle feels like, oh, well, we've got each other's back. We'll be able to do this, no problem. So she's really trying to kind of undermine the tension of this situation, which to a certain degree is kind of needed. Whisper is really tensing up over this situation, but there's a reason for that. As Tangle does understand this. She does realize this. But when she tries to ask Whisper to hopefully elaborate, to help her understand why this situation is so desperate and dire, Whisper's very much unwilling to do so. Not because she doesn't see Tangle as a friend, but because this is her problem, her issue, and she doesn't feel like Tangle should be involved in this situation whatsoever. She's just simply given in at the moment. But, Mimic is naturally keeping an eye out on the situation, and when he sees Tangle and Whisper entering, he immediately puts his plan into motion to use Jules' form in order to trick the two of them. So as ultimately they end up splitting up, not much through choice on Whisper's part, but Tangle feels that, we've got this. We'll be able to handle someone like this. I don't think this guy's going to be too much of a problem. But as soon as Tangle hears Jules somehow screaming out for help, further into the warehouse, Whisper already knows what's about to happen, as Tangle goes racing off, ends up meeting up with Whisper along the way, and they end up hearing that Jules' voice seems to have come from inside this nearby vault. And as Whisper stands guard as Tangle goes in, Tangle realizes all too late that Whisper wasn't whispering, as she's kicked into the vault and sealed inside. And you even get to see a little bit that Tangle might very well be claustrophobic, as she immediately starts to kind of panic to a certain degree inside the vault. And as Mimic changes into Tangle and ends up meeting up with Whisper, Whisper immediately does not trust this fake Tangle. But the one thing that Tangle seems to say is like, oh, well, is Mimic able to replicate ripped clothing? I ran in and took to take a look, and he swiped me. So immediately Whisper thinks, okay, No, I don't think he was able to mimic ripped clothing. So Tangle ends up leading her to a certain situation, running off ahead, only for it to be yet another ambush with a giant egg pawn mech, with a heavy ball. So it's pretty apparent that, and Whisper and Mimic even calls out that, yeah, you didn't think I could replicate torn clothing, did you? But just look how far my skills have gotten. But Whisper immediately manages to deal with the egg robo, and even starts to corner Mimic almost immediately. Like, this guy has no game whatsoever in terms of head-to-head combat, and he realizes that. That's why, as soon as Whisper tries to get an answer from Mimic as to what happened to Tangle, Mimic starts to change into Whisper's old team, the Diamond Cutters, to throw her off guard, to rub in that, oh, well, you gave up on your friends, you left them behind. Is that why you're using all their old weaponry and gear and all that? You took everything and cut and run. Are you gonna do that again? Just leave your new friend behind? I mean, she's probably running out of air in that safe, but you could always just finish me off. What do you think? Do you think you're gonna be able to save her in time before the bomb I planted goes off? So he's using very underhanded tactics, but for a creature with the ability to transform like this, of course, work to your skill set, and his skill set is deception, manipulation, doing his best in order to catch you off guard. And Whisper, not wanting to leave Tangle behind, lets him escape. And we see Mimic's true form, that of a octopus. Or is it a squid who's able to transform? I believe it's squids who have this camouflage ability, but with Mimic, he takes it to the fantastical route, where he's able to increase his mass and his body type, because that's what octopi can actually do. They can kind of contort themselves in certain ways to give themselves what looks to be more mass, blow themselves up a bit, and certain things like that. But Mimic's able to take it to a whole different level, and he makes sure to seal the warehouse shut in order to, just be done with Whisper once and for all. And he feels like, yeah, this is it. He will no longer have to deal and wonder if Whisper will ever be on his trail again. And as Whisper manages to get Tangle out of the safe, unfortunately the explosions start to go off, and Tangle and Whisper have no choice but to retreat inside the safe, hoping that it'll manage to withstand the force of the explosion, which it does, thankfully. Which begs the question, did Mimic know that the safe would be able to survive the explosion, or was he hoping that wouldn't be the case? Did he simply not think that far ahead? And as Tangle is all too ready to get back out there and beat the stuffing out of Mimic, Whisper isn't ready for this. She isn't okay with the possibility of losing one more friend. While Tangle is desperate to, show that she's not a failure, show that she's up for this task, show that she's ready to do this thing, Whisper can't handle this. Whisper can't handle the thought of losing more people to this monster because of this monster. And Tangle wants to sit down. She wants to listen, to understand exactly what happened here. And if nothing else, it might very well just be therapeutic for Whisper. Just let these emotions out and not bottle them up all the time. And Whisper ultimately agrees to tell Tangle the whole sad story. Next issue, Whisper's secret is revealed. Finally we will understand what was done to her, what Mimic and Eggman took away from her, and what befell the Diamond Cutters. A very, very fun issue. Tangle has the benefit of the fact that she is fairly naive. She's not used to these kinds of situations. She's kind of in over her head in this because she's at most able to deal with smaller bugs who are pretty kind of generic to deal with. Anyone can destroy an Eggman bot if you've got just enough strength, but deceptive characters who get in under your skin and know your weaknesses for others and stuff like that, only just knowing who Tangle's best friend, a Mimic was able to get the advantage. Because Tangle was just too overeager. She leaps before she looks. That's why Jewelage usually has to be there to bail her out of certain situations. But here, Tangle, she's trying her best. She really is, but it's just not enough. But at the same time, she didn't really understand what she was getting into. She didn't know the full extent of all the techniques and abilities that Mimic was able to do. And on that, hopefully we'll find out exactly what went through his head. Why did he betray his team? Why did he betray Whisper? Why did things happen the way that they did? Is there more to this story? Or is it just simply a guy gone bad? We'll just have to wait and see, but I'm enjoying this so far because ultimately you can do this kind of stuff with these characters. You can't really give Sonic or certain friends of his these kinds of backstory because Sega wants a little bit more control. They don't want to have these branching paths for these certain characters like was done in the earlier days of the Archie book. They're keeping a tighter lock on those kinds of things. But with Tangle, with Whisper, sky's the limit. They're Ian Flynn's characters. He can do whatever he wants with them. And he can make their backstories as tragic and as traumatic as possible. And we'll just have to wait and see where that actually goes. But tell me your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. Was it simply for the sake of his own self-preservation that Mimic betrayed the Diamond Cutters? Or is it possibly something deeper than that? It's hard to say. I mean, he really has it out for Whisper, but at the same time, she really has it out for him as well. Is this simply him being a reactionary to her constant dogged pursuits of him? Or is there more to it than that? And what do you think about the personalities of the Diamond Cutters will actually be? I mean, they were basically mercenaries to a certain degree. At least I remember that being the case. Maybe I'm wrong, but thoughts and theories in the comment section below. Tell me how you felt about this issue as well. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Do you feel that Tangle wasn't of any real use? Or do you feel that she was utilized perfectly by the writing staff? And if you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below so I might, get better with my videos from here on out. And if you want more videos, subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another Sonic the Hedgehog issue review. And if you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I am everywhere, for better or for worse. And until the next video, just remember that let your friends in on the situations. That way, you're not hit by an ambush, physically or even emotionally. Till next time, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din and I'm going to bed. Bye-bye.